5 children have been arrested on suspicion of murder after an 80-year-old dog walker died following a serious assault in a park. 2 girls and a boy aged 12 and a boy and a girl aged 14 are in custody after the pensioner died in hospital. The 80-year-old was allegedly attacked by a group at Franklin Park in Braunston Town near Leicester on Sunday evening. It is believed he was seriously assaulted by a group of young people near the park entrance. Before he died, the man's daughter said he had been taking the dog for a walk. They pushed him, they kicked him in the neck, kicked him in the spine. A neighbour said, "I heard a commotion outside and he was lying in the park, screaming in pain." He said he was violently pushed over. Cops want to speak to anyone who is in the park or in the area of Bramble Way between 6 p.m. and 6:45 p.m. on Sunday evening.
I think what's shocking is the ages of the suspects. When you're looking at 14 and 12-year-olds being arrested on suspicion of murder, I think that's the really shocking thing. I mean, my understanding, it was Sunday evening around 6:30 p.m. So it's not an unusual time for kids of that age to be out and about, but almost like the level of the attack and the numbers involved, numbers of children involved, and then the ages. I think that's what the shocking thing is. It's just an elderly man taking his dog out for a walk. So I think that's what's really going to hit with people and shock them. It's just a normal activity that many people do on a Sunday evening has resulted in the death of somebody. It is a challenge. You have to have appropriate adults with you during the interviews. You have to have the child assessed and the appropriate adults spoken to before they can come into the interview with the children. It's taken delicately. It's a challenging investigation because you are dealing with children. So you've got to almost like explain the activities, the actions, the investigation, the offences you're investigating, and the questions that you want answers to. So almost like the involvement of every person that was there. And it's almost like establishing, they clearly know right from wrong at that age, but the level of what was right and wrong and who actually did what and what involvement each of them had, and then collectively as a group. And that's the challenge for the detectives now, is to interview them separately, but then try and get an account from all of them to establish exactly what happened and who actually did what, who took part in the activities. The officers, we do the usual like door-to-door knocking on people's doors and neighbours. They'll try and almost like do a timeline, the time the victim went into the park, where he was, if he spoke to anybody, if anybody else saw these suspects, the children in the area. Were they all together at the same time? Did they come together at some point? Was there any interaction before the actual attack took place? Was there like some background to it, some history to it? Speaking to all the people, and my understanding is these children, the suspects, left the scene before the emergency services. So again, what route did they take? Did they all leave together? Did they leave separately? It all sort of matches up with the accounts they want to get from the suspects when they start interviewing them, to see if their account tallies with the evidence, the CCTV evidence, and the accounts from other witnesses that they get from the investigations. Yeah, I think it's understandable there's been an appeal gone out for public information if anybody saw anything or heard anything, especially people in that area. Again, people out walking their dog. Most people know each other if they're local, and it sounds to me like the victim was a local person. He's lived there for a considerable period of time, so probably quite well known to other users of the park, other dog walkers. So if anybody who saw him on that day, spoke to him, if they saw the children involved, was there, as I said, was there any interaction between them and him, or them and other dog walkers? What's the background? Everybody always wants to know why why incidents take place, the motive, what was behind it. And I think that would be the challenge for the detectives, is to try and build the picture, the background of what led up to this attack and assault on this man, and sadly led to his death.